What's going on everyone, TomGorian here and welcome back to another episode of the F1 22 My Team Career Mode series with Carlin. Today we're here for episode 10, the Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort, and we begin this video with a performance update. We are now officially once again the slowest car on the grid, but to be honest that does not matter. We've got 4 upgrades coming on the car. We've got 2 major and 2 minor before the season ends, but that's not really our focus anymore. We've scored our points, we've done what we've needed to do for this first season of this career mode. We've scored points and that's all that matters. All that matters now is pretty much collecting resource points, collecting the data, and pretty much making more money before we enter season 2. It doesn't look like there's going to be an engine or a regulation change as we head in towards season 2 of this F1 22 My Team Career Mode. Before we get this video started, hit the like button if you do enjoy this video and also this series, and subscribe to the channel for more F1 22 content as we end season 1 and we enter season 2. We've got 5 races to go, including this one, and I like the circuit, Zandvoort. It's a very technical, very momentum-esque circuit. It's a circuit with not a lot of straights. Obviously, it's more aero-reliant, aero-efficient, and also very chassis-reliant, with a lot of high-speed, medium-speed, and low-speed corners as well. And one of the reasons why I love Circuit Zandvoort is because it's a very momentum-esque circuit. It's one of those circuits that has one corner after another. As you can see, Sector 1 is pretty much the best example how you enter the hairpin and then it's a fast left-hander, fast right-hander, and then a very tight left banking. It's very momentum-esque and you need to do a lot of laps, just like in Monaco, where the more laps you do, the more confident you are and the more time you can get out of the circuit. So it's very important that we understand the car, we understand our setup, and in practice, once again, in practice we got more understanding of not only this car, not only of the circuit, but also of this game, especially when it comes to the suspension and also the front wings. I do now know that you pretty much have to run high front wings around, tracks like Hungary. Well, I'd say it's more higher with Monaco and Hungary, but less higher with Zandvoort. You can run high wings around Zandvoort, but I think you can get away with lower wings around Zandvoort. I'm guessing around about 20, 25-ish, or maybe 19 minimum, or 19 max around here. But as you can see, we are coming into qualifying for this Dutch Grand Prix, and we're pretty much kicking things off with our final run in Q1. We are 2 temps up right now as we enter the penultimate corner and also the final banking. Entering 7th gear right now. As we come across the line, we're going to take the shortest route across the line now, and it is only P20 on the grid for the Dutch Grand Prix. I can't lie, that lap was actually a very decent lap. It's not a lap that you would consider P20, but as you can see around about now, look at the gap between my lap and Nicholas Latifi. 6 temps between Latifi and me, and I'm running 103 AI, and next season I'll be running 104 AI, but that was not a lap that is considered 6 temps. If anything, I thought I gained more time in that lap than I did in the first lap, but it's just one of those things, once again, where in this game you feel like you've done a decent lap, but in the end it's not good enough. I thought we could have made it into Q2, but it's P20 for the Dutch Grand Prix. We have to take our punches as we roll, and yeah, that's all that matters right now. It's P20 on the grid, but it's time for the Dutch Grand Prix.
For years, the passionate Dutch fans have been easy to find trackside in races across Europe. Here, this weekend, it's even easier to find the Dutch fans as they have a race to call their own once again. A warm welcome to all of our viewers in the Netherlands and around the globe, of course, as we get underway for the Dutch Grand Prix. Zandvoort circuit then, 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left, with plenty of steep camber and elevation changes to keep our drivers on their toes throughout the 2.6 mile lap. And watch out for cars making use of the DRS zone into turn 1 to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Russell, Bottas, Fernando Alonso and Verstappen, Perez, Hamilton, Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo. Norris, they've taken a grid penalty. Ocon, Kevin Magnussen, Thomas, Mick Schumacher, Albon, Pierre Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou. Stroll, Latifi, Tsunoda and David Beckman. With me today, of course, is Natalie Pinkham. Why don't we kick off by discussing Max Verstappen? That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
Well, there are never any guarantees in this business, but certainly the performance last time out will have boosted their confidence coming into this race.
So here we go, back again for another race of My Team Career Mode here at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix, and we are in P14 because of some grid penalties. So we could actually score points if we nail this strategy. Now, as you can see, the alternative strategy is a 2-stop, double softs to mediums, but of course we're doing the 1-stop from the mediums to the hards. We're not at that stage yet. And we won't be, I've said this in the previous video, where we're not going to be at that stage for at least another season and a half, where we can go from the mediums to the softs, and that can carry us till the end of the race. But as you can see, I'm increasing the tyre pressures because I want to be fast on a straight line. I've slightly decreased the wings by 1 or 2, so we're pretty much just about more competitive with the AI in a straight line, and you'll see why in this video, why increasing the tyre pressures and also decreasing the front wing slightly is important. But as you can see, we are getting ready for the start of this Dutch Grand Prix here at Zandvoort. We get perfect grid positioning right there, P14. This is a perfect chance for us to finally score points again, and hopefully our teammate David Beckman can also score, but he is going to have a far tougher task at last place. But getting ready for the Dutch Grand Prix. Lights out, away we go here at Zandvoort. It's a good start there from us, though. We've already jumped Kevin Magnussen and also Lando Norris as we head towards turn 1. We're going to take the inside of Esteban Ocon and also Sebastian Vettel as we open up the steering a little bit, and we're already in P10. Ocon tries to do the switch back here, but as you can see, Daniel Ricciardo leaves the inside there. Lewis Hamilton goes side by side with Sergio Perez. We try to get the better traction on Daniel Ricciardo, but that does not work, and as you can see, the overpower of the AI, we go slightly a little bit wider. We make contact there with Sebastian Vettel. That was not on purpose there. I slightly lost my bearings there, just a tiny bit, and as you can see, we have damage on the front right rear wing. But you'll notice in this video that even if you have front wing damage, you shouldn't really pit. You shouldn't really pit because it doesn't really affect cornering ability like it did in last year's game or 2020. As you can see, here's a restart as Charles Leclerc is on pole with Carlos Sainz in second. Leclerc gets away very beautifully as he goes into the lead, and as you can see, there's an Alfa Romeo there. Hamilton goes down the inside there, but Alonso in second place. He gets a jump on both the McLaren of George Russell and the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. So Alonso in second place. He's really done a good job this season, has Fernando, not just in this series but also in real life. I think Ocon has done the better job this season between the two, especially that 5th place in Austria. I thought he was the best driver in the race there. But we switch back to the F1 22 My Team Career Mode. As you can see, Ocon tries to go around the outside, and this is what I'm talking about. With this game, like, obviously, we are the slowest car, but if you can have the advantage in a straight line, now, with this game, we all know that how overpowered the AI are in a straight line. They are absolutely ridiculous, and as you can see, I'm using my ERS there, but they can't do anything. as long as I'm going defensive, if it's into that little chicane or if it's in turn 1, they can't do anything. And it's not the first time that, you know, this defensive masterclass, if you will, has happened. And as you can see, lap 4 onto lap 5, we go defensive once again. Ocon tries to go round the outside, we brake just late enough, and we maintain track position. And this was pretty much the story all race, how the AI tried to pretty much overtake us on the outside into this chicane and also turn 1, but I always had the inside line. And as you can see, with Ocon, and not just with Ocon, but with multiple cars, with Sebastian Vettel, with Yuki Tsunoda, with Zhou Guanyu, we're just quick. For the first time this series, we are quick against the AI. And you know, for some reason in a track like Zandvoort, where it's very aero dependent, as Fernando Alonso comes in from second place, he's doing the one stop, he's going from the softs to the hards, and as you can see, we actually take him full position, and we are currently in P8 in this race. But let's go back to the AI and how I think with the AI and how overpowered they are in a straight line. With this track, it's very different. Obviously, there's a lot of high-speed corners, the banking, the penultimate corner, and just it's a very aero efficient circuit. And I think with our chassis is easily the best part, especially in Sector 1. I don't know how we qualified P20, but our chassis helps us in Sector 1 and also in Sector 2. But with our engine power, our slight drag reduction, and also our setup, we're just now very quick against the AI. As you can see, lap 16, there goes Lando Norris down the inside, so we're going to go side by side with the McLaren driver as we hold him around the outside, and once again we out traction him as we enter Sector 2, and we're going to stay on board with the remainder of this lap. So we enter 4th gear, we have a slight oversteer moment, we have to counter steer, lose the back end there, and we try and fight Fernando, but unfortunately Fernando has pretty much got ahead of us there. But I'm not worrying, because Fernando's not really our race in this race. We're not really racing Fernando, we're racing Lando, we're racing Kevin Magnussen, we're racing Ocon, and also Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, and pretty much the train behind us. That's all we matter about. As long as we can defend from the train behind us, we should be fine in this race. So we nailed the pit stop speed limit there, and we're going to come in for our stop. As you can see, Kevin Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo are behind us on our stop. We get an optimal pit stop time, 2.5 seconds, and we get released very quickly indeed, and we are ahead of both Ricciardo and also Kevin Magnussen. But we've got to watch out for the cold tyres. Can we exit the pit lane with cold tyres? Yes, we do. We don't do the mistake like we did in Belgium, where we don't have the tyres and we lose the back end and we crash in a very noobish way, let's just say. But entering the penultimate corner and the final corner at Zandvoort, we've pretty much used a lot of our ERS, because for some reason also the AI are very powerful when it comes to overcuts in this game. Now, it's not like in the previous games where the undercut really matters. It's more the overcut with the AI. And as you can see, Zhou Guanyu, we go round the outside of Zhou Guanyu. Obviously, he has really ice cold hard tyres. Our tyres are pretty much up to temperature and are working in the window. And as you can see with Lance Stroll, very hard to overtake him. But as you can see, he goes a little bit wide there, and we are able to brake late. We just about get a bit of a snap oversteer moment as we hit the the curb there, entering Sector 2. But yeah, that is pretty much our overtake done. Entering lap 21 of 36 here at Zandvoort, and as you can see, we're using our ERS and we're slowly but surely starting to build a gap on Zhou Guanyu and Sebastian Vettel, and also that train. And throughout this next period of the race, I was always wanting an update from Mark as far as where David Beckman is. Now, David Beckman, I can't lie, has got 5 races to save a seat. And as you can see, I'm just trying to see if anyone else has made the stops. Everyone else is on the same strategy from the mediums to the hards. So everyone from first place down to Vettel or Zhou Guanyu has made the one stop from the mediums to the hards. I think Ricardo has done a 2-stop. I think Fernando has done a 2-stop. But yeah, the drivers down in P20 and 19 and behind David Beckman, they have made a 2-stop. But as you can see, Shogun Yu goes around the outside, but we just have the better line there. We have the racing line, and we also can dictate the corner. And that was literally the story this race. And for the first time all series, I felt like literally in this race there was nothing that the AI could do to really overtake me to the point where I felt helpless. If this was Belgium, I would try to protect the inside line, but the AI were just too powerful in a straight line and they would just blow past me. Here, I can literally fight them. I can literally defend the inside, and no matter how powerful they are on a straight line, there's nothing they can do. Here you go again. I'm not using ERS, I'm literally going defensive, and I'm literally inviting him to go around the outside. As you can see that I literally forced Shogun Yu a little bit wide there. And yeah, for the last 10 laps of this Grand Prix, I wanted David Beckman to just go through, because I want David Beckman to score points, and I want him to stay in this race. As you can see, Sergio Perez has retired from the Dutch Grand Prix with an engine failure, and Red Bull's reliability once again are kicking them in the ass. And also Max Verstappen is not having a good race here at Zandvoort. But as you can see, lap 29 of 36, we've got 5 laps to go, and for some reason our car in the last 15% of the race, our car feels amazing with light fuel, hard tyres, and it's only going to get better with these upgrades, and it's only going to get better as the season wears on. That was a little bit too over aggressive, I would say. That defensive move that we did on Kevin Magnussen. He broke late, I broke later, and I just did a Nico Rosberg on him. I didn't even turn for the corner. But obviously now, because we've been trying to go defensive, we've pretty much lost time to the race leaders. And as you can see, that's Charles Leclerc, and also that's also Pierre Gasly. Gasly also has a run for the first time all race, and he's going to go on the inside, but we're going to hold it around the outside. We're going to turn on him like the AI turn on us, and as you can see, we are in P9 in this race. And once again, I'm asking Mark about David Beckman, and he's not really making positions. He's in P17 as we get massive damage there on the front left this time, not the front right but the front left. And yeah, this is where I just want David Beckman to score points. As long as we don't crash, like as far as, you know, we don't lose the tyre or nothing, we're pretty much finishing P9. Safety car comes out with pretty much 4 laps to go, but it's pretty much useless. We're a lap down, and we're going to have literally like 1 lap of racing left before the race is over. So I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that David Beckman scores at least a point this season, because I want David Beckman to do well, and I want to build this series around David Beckman. I want to build this team around David Beckman. I don't want to spend 5-6 million on a Nico Hülkenberg or a midfield driver like a Shogun Yu or a Pierre Gasly or an Esteban Ocon, when I could use that time to develop and really make David Beckman in towards a fantastic driver for us. And we haven't really done that in these career mode series. We've just done, we've just tried to have an F2 driver for 1 or 2 seasons, and by the 3rd season we've just gone with a midfield driver, and that was the end of the series. But as you can see, lap 35, Esteban Ocon has no front wing at all, and yeah, that was pretty much the story of this race. Sebastian Vettel is out of the Dutch Grand Prix, but it doesn't really matter for us. He's not going to affect our race any longer as we approach the end. Of this race, coming around the final penultimate corner, Charles Leclerc does win the Dutch Grand Prix, and now I think he needs 1 more win for the championship. We let Bottas by, but it's going to be another points finish in this career mode series. It's 8th place for us. Decent drive, a very great defensive masterclass for us, but once again, David Beckman, he can't score points.
So another excellent win for Ferrari. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, tyre management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So, being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls, gentle on the tyres, that's where the race was won today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
I'm telling you, man, Red Bull and Mercedes need to step up their games if they want to challenge Charles Leclerc for next season, because Charles Leclerc has literally run away with this championship. I believe this is his 7th or 8th win of this series, and if you include the episodes that we missed out, including Canada and Spain, I believe he's won 9 of the 11 or 12 races. But there's confirmation that David Beckman has officially scored a point in Formula 1. Apparently there was a glitch where Ricciardo and Gasly, they pretty much finished 16th and 17th. I looked on the race director, but no penalty. It must have been an after race thing or something, I don't know. But David Beckman finally scores a point in Formula 1, and we also get 8th place. It's a great day for us as we end the season. Thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.